Let's dive right into this explainer. If you've been tracking the crazy, fast-paced world of AI lately, you've probably asked yourself what actually separates a standard, run-of-the-mill chatbot from a true AI agent. Well, it all boils down to one absolutely crucial concept, and that is memory. See, true AI agents don't just react to what you say, they actually remember. And how they handle that memory, that is the real secret to unlocking their massive potential. To really get why this matters so much, let's look at human error for a second. The source for our explainer today shares a painfully relatable anecdote. Just imagine this. You spend 3 agonizing hours debugging a complex Kubernetes cluster. You are literally pulling your hair out, only to realize you are pointing at the entirely wrong cluster the whole time. Seriously, 3 hours just gone. No way, right? But think about it. Why do we eventually stop making silly mistakes like that? It's because of our personal experience. We remember the pain, we remember the context, and we learn. For an AI to be genuinely useful, it needs that exact same capability to learn from its past fumbles. And it's actually super fascinating how perfectly our own human memory maps onto what an AI agent needs. Think about how our brains work. We have short-term memory for whatever's happening right now in front of us. We have factual knowledge, like, remembering company security policies, or the Python is an interpreted language. Then we've got learned skills, the actual know how to do a specific task. And finally, we have personal experience, like that 3-hour Kubernetes nightmare we just talked about. Well, as it turns out, well-designed AI agents need these exact same 4 types of memory to stop making frustrating mistakes and actually act intelligently. We map these directly to 4 corresponding pillars of agent memory. To formalize this whole idea, there's a really well-known framework developed by a research team over at Princeton. They call it CoALA, which stands for Cognitive Architectures for Language Agents. The CoALA framework brilliantly maps out these 4 distinct types of memory that agents need to function at a truly high level. It's essentially a blueprint for giving AI a brain that holds onto and uses information pretty much just like we do. So, here is our roadmap for the explainer today. We're going to look at 1. Working memory, 2. Semantic memory, 3. Procedural memory, 4. Episodic memory, and finally 5. Tailoring memory. Let's get to it. Section 1. Working memory, which serves as the agent's context window. Now, pretty much every single chatbot you've ever interacted with has working memory. It's basically everything the agent can see right at this exact moment: the current conversation, the system instructions, maybe some files you dropped directly into the prompt. It acts as the agent's scratchpad. The absolute best analogy for this is computer RAM. It's incredibly fast and it's immediately accessible, but it does have 2 major flaws. First, it is completely volatile. The second your session ends, poof, it's gone. Second, it's limited in size. Even though today's context windows are massive, we're talking sometimes up to 1 million tokens, there is still a ceiling. If you try to just stuff way too much in there, the model's performance starts to degrade because it basically loses track of things buried in the middle of all that text. Moving right along to Section 2, Semantic Memory, also known as the knowledge base. Semantic memory is what gives an agent its persistent facts, rules, conventions, and overall documentation. If you dive into the academic literature on this, you are going to see a lot of heavy tech jargon. Academics often describe semantic memory using super complex tools like vector databases or these intricate knowledge graphs. And yeah, those are totally real implementations. But let's demystify this a bit for a second. In real-world, everyday production agentic systems, semantic memory is often vastly simpler. A lot of the time, it's literally just basic markdown files, ending in .md. Let's look at a concrete example to see how this plays out in practice. Take an AI coding assistant like Claude, for instance. It utilizes a simple markdown file appropriately named claude.md, sitting right there in the root folder of a project. And what's inside it? It's packed with the project architecture, specific coding conventions, build commands, what frameworks to use, and, absolutely crucially, what not to do. This simple text file gets loaded into the working memory right at the start of every single session. Without this semantic memory, the agent is pretty much doomed to make the exact same basic errors over and over again, simply because it has no persistent knowledge to draw from. All right, Section 3, Procedural Memory, or Agent Skills. Procedural memory is how the agent actually knows how to do things, how to execute a specific task. Whether that's making a PowerPoint presentation or running a structured code review, the agent needs instructions. There's actually an open standard for this, using a format called skill.md. A skill is essentially just a folder containing a markdown file. This file describes exactly what the skill does and then lays out the step-by-step instructions for how to actually pull it off. Now, you might be wondering, Well, why not just load all these skills into the working memory right at the very start? Good question. But if an agent has dozens or even hundreds of skills, loading every single one of them all at once would completely blow through that working memory budget we talked about earlier. And this brilliantly illustrates a really cool concept called progressive disclosure. Instead of loading the whole shebang up front, the system operates in 3 very smart steps. Step 1, the agent only sees a super lightweight index of its skills, basically just a name and a brief description, maybe 100 tokens for each. Step 2, when a prompt or task comes in that matches one of those short descriptions, the system registers the match. And then, step 3, only then does the agent actually pull in and load the full, heavy, step-by-step instructions so it can execute the task. It only grabs the heavy resources exactly when it needs them. It's a highly efficient system, and it's vastly different from semantic memory, which is always sitting right there in the context window. That brings us to Section 4, Episodic Memory, which is all about distilling experience. Episodic memory is the agent's historical record of past interactions, its past decisions, and most importantly, what it actually learned from them. But listen, how you implement this matters immensely. A naive implementation would be to just dump raw data everywhere, saving a massive, full 45-minute raw conversation transcript, and basically forcing the AI to search through it later. Technically, sure, that is episodic memory, but it's incredibly inefficient. What smart production systems do instead is create distilled experience. As the agent works, it accumulates notes for itself. It actively decides what is actually worth remembering for the future. So instead of a giant transcript, it saves a simple, compressed note like, hey, last time we debugged the auth module, the issue was in the middleware layer. This is where memory genuinely starts to look like real learning, allowing the agent to continuously improve over time. But here's the catch. Episodic memory is incredibly tricky to get right, and it's because of a uniquely human trait, forgetting. As humans, we naturally forget things all the time. And honestly, as frustrating as that can be, it's kind of useful to clear out the mental clutter. But for AI, forgetting doesn't just happen naturally. As the source material points out, for agents, forgetting is an engineering problem. You have to decide, what do you delete? When does information actually become obsolete? If a user changes jobs, do you keep those old project memories hanging around, or do you have to engineer a specific way to securely forget them? It is a massive challenge for developers right now. Which leads us to Section 5, Tailoring Memory to Agents. Let's bring this all together. The reality of the situation is that not every single AI agent out there actually needs all 4 types of memory. We can look at this through a matrix, climbing up the ladder of AI complexity. Down at the lowest level, you have a simple reflex agent, like a smart thermostat or a basic routing bot. It only needs working memory, just access to the immediate context window so it can see the current temperature, and honestly, that's about it. Step up a bit to a narrow agent, like a customer support bot that just resets passwords. That bot definitely needs working memory, but it also needs procedural memory so we can recall the specific step-by-step password reset skill. But if you jump all the way up to a highly complex agent, like an advanced coding assistant, it absolutely requires all 4. It needs working memory for the immediate prompt, semantic memory to understand your specific project conventions, procedural memory to run scripts, and episodic memory to learn your specific preferences across multiple sessions. So the absolutely crucial point here is this. A good memory architecture remembers mistakes, so we aren't destined to repeat them. And this brings us full circle right back to that excruciating 3-hour Kubernetes nightmare we talked about at the very beginning. A standard chatbot, it would let you make that exact same mistake every single day. But a true AI agent, armed with episodic memory, it would have remembered your past workflow. It would have tapped you on the shoulder before hour 3, maybe even at minute 3, and warned you that, hey, you're pointing at the wrong cluster. That is the true power of persistent knowledge and accumulated experience. We've covered working, semantic, procedural, and episodic memory. Understanding this CoALA framework is absolutely the key to building systems that actually learn rather than just blindly react. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought to chew on. Look at your own projects. Look at the tools you are currently building or using. Which of these 4 types of AI agent memory are you actually utilizing in your own agentic workflows today? Because if it's just working memory, it might just be time for an upgrade.